Welcome back to Fit&Flexi TV. I'm Ali T. Today I have a Flexi in 5 for all you runners out there. I have a post-run stretch. So when you get home after your run, please don't just sit down. I know you might be exhausted and you just want to sit on the floor and do nothing. But instead of doing that, do this lovely stretch. So get home, you can take your shoes off, kick your shoes to one side, and I have a nice little flexi flow to cool you down and stretch you out to reduce any DOMS, which is delayed onset muscle soreness that you might have the next day when you wake up in the morning. And we'll refresh your muscles and stretch them out to release any tension so that you can start running again as soon as you want to. So it's going to prevent injury and get rid of any of that muscle aches and pains and soreness, and also reduce any tension that you might build up through running, which can cause other types of injuries over time. So 5 exercises, let's do this. Exercise number 1 is a downward dog. Like I said, this is a flexi flow. So when you get home, you can kick your trainers to one side, come down, keeping your legs nice and straight, roll all the way down. Take a little hang if you want to. You can have a little rag doll here to stretch through the back of your legs and release any tension through your back. Then walk your hands out into a downward dog, pushing your bum up to the sky, and just walk your dog. So take your dog for a walk, push through the back of the legs, and feel it through the back of the hamstrings and the calves. Good. And we're keeping our stretch going for about 30 to 40 seconds in each stretch, and having a little breather in between while I explain the next stretch. So you can really feel that through the Achilles, through the ankles, through the calves, through the bottom of the feet. Good, so stretch out those muscles. Next stretch, bring it into a really nice deep lunge. So there's a reason why these deep lunges are called runner's lunge in yoga. If you come up and balance, that's runner's lunge. You can feel it through your hip flexor. So today we're just coming into a nice deep lunge because we're cooling down from our run. Good, and you can drop the knee down, release the back toe, and really get into the hip flexor. So to get into the hip, you want to tuck your pelvis underneath and squeeze the glutes to push forward so you can feel it through your hip flexor. So instead of pushing the bum back, push the pelvis underneath and feel it through the hip flexor. And that's your hip flexor stretch. Ooh. And you can have a little wiggle here to feel the stretch through those hip flexors. They can get really tight when you're running, or the opposite, when you're sitting down on chairs, especially if you work an office job or sit at a desk or drive a lot, your hip flexors can get really tight. So this is going to help with your running. Good. Exercise number 3, you then want to sit back to do the opposite with your pelvis. Push your pelvis back into a hamstring stretch. So we flex the toe up at the front, push the hip back behind us, and undo the pelvis to push back, so you have a nice long hamstring stretch here. You can feel it through the calf, you can feel it through the hamstring. Take nice deep breaths and then fold over your leg. Good. And aim here is to just get your chest and belly button as low as you can to your knee, but without pushing it. Just a little stretch to release any of that tension that you built up whilst running. And then you can also just go between the two. So you can come forward into your hip flexor and then back into your hamstring and calf. Forwards into your hip flexor and back into your hamstring and calf. Excellent. Exercise number 4 on this side. We're going to stretch out the glute. So bring your front foot across to meet your front hand, and then relax the knee down onto the floor. Take your back leg so that it's nice and straight behind you. So your front leg is bent at kind of 90-degree angle. Your back leg is nice and straight, or if that's too much, you can just also bend that leg at a 90-degree angle too. So this is 90-90 stretch. But if you can, stretch it out behind you. Good, into a glute stretch. You should feel it through the bent leg glute and down the IT band. It's going to release your piriformis, release the IT band, which can get really, really tight when you're running, and it can cause pressure on your knee. So releasing the ankle and the hip takes any of that pressure and pain away from your knees. And if you want to in this stretch, You can either come further down onto the floor to stretch out the glute and through the quad and the IT band. Good. And again, we're just bringing that heart rate down. So you put on some of your favourite music. You should be really proud of yourself for finishing your run. Well done. Excellent. The endorphins should start to kick in. Bring that heart rate down. Have a lovely stretch. Perfect. From there, the last stretch is a quad stretch. You're going to lie down on the floor for this one. So you're getting more and more relaxed. Place your head in one hand. And we're finishing with a quad stretch on this side. Okay, so you're bending one leg up, trying to hold onto it with the same hand. You can either hold on the outside or on the inside of the foot. Totally up to you, but you want to keep your knee in line with your leg, so it depends on your flexibility. Try to pull the foot towards the bum as much as you can, and then squeeze the bum, squeeze the glutes, and push your hip flexor into the floor. So instead of having the hip up, you're really driving the pelvis into the floor and squeezing the leg towards you, so you can feel it through the front of the leg down the quad. And like I said, this is the most relaxing one because you're just lying down on the floor, telling your body to relax, bring that heart rate down, nice deep stretches, and relax. Good. Relax that leg, place your hands on the floor, take your knees wide, keep your feet together, and push back into a little child pose. So you're stretching, releasing any tension through the shoulders, stretching out the spine, stretching out the groin and your inner thighs. Excellent. And that's one side done. Then we're going to take it over to the other side. So again, tuck your toes underneath, bring it up into that downward dog. Take your dog for a walk. And this time you might feel some slight tension on one side compared to the other side as you stretch one side out already. Good. And like I said, we're holding this for between 30 to 40 seconds to really stretch through the back of the legs. Excellent. Then we take it into a nice deep runner's lunge. So front knee is over the front ankle, back leg is nice and straight. Drop the back knee to the floor, untuck the toe, and I can already feel it through my hip flexor of my back leg. So here you're pushing your front knee out to the side and really feeling it through the back hip flexor. Good. Excellent. And just hold, have a little wiggle, feel where you can feel it best. Like I said, tuck your hips underneath. So if you want to, you can come up. You might be able to feel it better through the hip flexor by coming up and letting the pelvis sink to the floor. Excellent. Next exercise is the hamstring stretch. So we sink back, push the hips back, push the pelvis back, tilt it back. Good. Lead with the toe coming forwards towards the ceiling. Feel it through your front hamstring and your front calf. Nice deep breath. And exhale over the top. Hopefully you're back home now, all relaxed. You've got your favourite tunes on. You can even do this in front of the TV. Good. And these stretches might help you make your personal best in running, because you want to be fit and flexible. That's the whole premise behind Fit&Flexi. If you just keep running without stretching, you're just going to get tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. So this is going to really help your running. Excellent. Exercise number 4, we have that glute stretch. So take your front foot in line with your front hand. Make sure the front leg is about a 90-degree angle. Like I said in the first side, if it's too much having the back leg straight, you can also bend it behind you at a 90-degree angle too. So this is a common Pilates stretch for your glutes, a 90-90. Stretch out your glutes, your piriformis and your IT band. But if you can, we're going to have our leg behind us. Stretch through the glutes and the IT band. And again, if you want to progress it, you can come down to the floor, and we're getting lower and lower to the floor. Bringing that heart rate down as much as we can. Nice, well done. Just be proud of yourself, let that happy fix kick in. Those endorphins should be surging around your body. You should be looking forward to your post-run shower or foam roll. Fantastic. Thinking of your post-run nutrition that you're going to fuel your body with. Well done, good. And lastly, come down onto the floor. We have your quad stretch. So relax your head on one hand, bend the other knee in, squeeze it towards your glute as much as you can. Squeeze the glute, push the hip flexor and pelvis into the floor and feel it through the quad and just relax, just hold. We're holding each one for between 30 to 40 seconds. If you feel a specific area needs a bit more work though, then you can really work into that area. And you might feel that one side's a lot tighter than the other, so really focus on the side that feels particularly tight and try to balance out any imbalances, and that should also help your running style. Good. Excellent. And relax. Perfect. So you can finish again in child pose by pushing back towards the heels. Sit your bum back towards the heels, take the knees nice and wide, curve the spine, have the arms out in front of you and release any tension through the whole body. Good. And you're done. So super simple flexi in 5 for your post-run stretch. So when you get home, give this a go and let me know what you think. If you've enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, give it a big like and subscribe to the channel. Also on Fit&Flexi, there is a pre-run warm-up and dynamic stretch. So if you're a keen runner, give that a go too and let me know what you think. I shall see you next time.